This is a video about hating to say goodbye, even when you know that hello isn't too far on the horizon. Let's take a walk and talk about the art of saying goodbye and why I hate it. So I have rope dropped both parks, spent an amazing morning in a very, very busy Disneyland on Thanksgiving Eve. But it is now noon, time to go home, time to start wrapping things up for this epic trip that kicks off in about 24 hours. I love all the optimism that the tunnel represents when you go through it. Feels the exact same way when you no, it doesn't feel the exact same way when you leave it. Feels the exact opposite when you leave it. When you see the train come through in the morning, you're like, yeah, I want to ride the train. And when you see the train come through when you're leaving, you're like, damn, I wish I would have rode the train. The one place in the park where I don't mind hearing babies cry, I actually prefer it, I embrace it, is when I hear kids crying at the exit gate. It feels like it's my inner spirit animal crying, and I'm like, same child, same. I don't want to go either, even when you know you're going to be back. But I think I had this once explained to me that, you know, that moment when you get on a plane and you just kind of get worried about leaving home, and you know, you have this idea of like, I hope that I make it back. That is an indication of happiness and joy and loving your life, because that's the moment where it is technically maybe feels a little bit more at risk, and the way that the brain processes that risk is, yeah, I don't want to lose this thing. And it's funny because I remember being a young man and getting on a plane. I'm like, I don't care if the wings come off this thing. I do not care. Then Beth came in my life. I'm like, I got to get back home to Beth. And whether it's Disneyland, which is, you know, I hate saying goodbye to, even though I know I'll be back in days. But I always try to have like a sentimental moment when it's time for me to leave Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and not so much Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. The vehicle of the future, telling us our future means it's time to go. And speaking of time to go, will you be here next Thanksgiving? What about your friend? I know booths 7 and 8 are scheduled to get taken down, but will there be any booth standing a Thanksgiving from now? But speaking of our future, let's take a walk through Avatar, or at least Disneyland Forward. Because if you think about it, maybe 1 year from now, this all might not exist, or exist in a very different version of what we know. So that's a good goodbye, right? So let me recapture my emotions. Goodbye is sentimental when you know you're going to come back. Goodbye is kind of like a special moment when you know it's going to be a while. But goodbye is a great thing when it's something going away that is going to change for something better. So if goodbyes aren't all equal, what about hellos? Are all hellos the same? Because I know there's been a thing where guys nod their heads up and down depending on if they know the other guy or not. Some sort of weird male dominance thing. But I guess there's another kind of theme park goodbye. One that I heard a couple of people were making today that knew that this was going to be their last trip of the year. Let me explain. Right on the other side of here is where Avatar is going to go eventually. We don't know if that's going to happen next year, but we do know that Monsters, Inc. is going away. So I did see a handful of people that were telling me that this was their last time to ride, and they kind of seemed sad about that goodbye. But I have a theory about that goodbye and its sadness, because it seems to me that when something leaves a theme park, people get sad. And it makes sense because they have emotional attachment to it. But the continuation of that sadness changes based on the quality of what replaces it. I have an example coming up, because this path is going to lead us to a goodbye that theme park fans had to say. And they were outraged. They literally thought this was going to be the worst thing that ever happened to DCA. But the replacement seemed to be such a hit that even though some folks do miss the original, you don't really hear people complain as much as they were when they were saying goodbye versus now, over the last handful of years, when they've been saying hello. And obviously, I'm talking about the transformation of the Hollywood Tower of Terror to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. People were very, very upset when Tower was going away. You don't hear so many people complain because I feel like what they had to say goodbye to, they still love and they still miss, but what they got to say hello to was pretty awesome. So if I'm understanding this correctly, theme park goodbyes have sort of a stipulation to them on when you're saying goodbye to something, how great is the next thing that you say hello to. So in this example, it was indeed a sad goodbye, but it was also a very nice hello. Now, when Disneyland was being built, the people that lived on Harbor Boulevard had to say goodbye to their front yards so the road could become the wide canal that it is today. And I don't know that we hear too many people go, man, I really miss those front yards. But maybe we just don't know those people. You know, Anaheim had to say goodbye to Cerritos for Disneyland to get built. And I don't hear many people saying, man, I really wish that block of Cerritos would came back. So I think goodbyes, when they're added on to future progress, it's a whole different way of looking at it. And this space behind me is a different kind of goodbye. This is goodbye to an opportunity. As I've been told, Disney once had an opportunity to take these lines, put them underground so they could expand over the top of them. They balked at the price, and now they can't do that again. So I think when goodbye is attached to a missed opportunity, it definitely changes the way that we look at it. Because so far, all these goodbyes have made things better. This is a goodbye that's going to make things difficult for a long time to come. Next year, if that's the year when the cast loses its parking lot, that's going to be an angry goodbye. People are going to be bummed out because it's going to add inconvenience to their workday, and I understand and I sympathize with them. But if the replacement parking is even better, then that will be a forgotten goodbye. Curious to see how that one works out. But this brings us to, I think, one of the ultimate potential Anaheim goodbyes. Let's break down if anybody will be sad to say goodbye to GardenWalk. Now, many Disney fans place GardenWalk on the type of goodbye of a missed opportunity. I don't believe that. I think the opportunity is still very much in play and something that Disney could easily make happen in the future. I'm going to give you a timestamp of where I'm at right now. 12:15, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Disneyland is currently slammed. This is what its next door neighbor, GardenWalk, looks like. Maybe I'll be lucky to see 50 people, and I'm probably over-exaggerating by 40. Now, this is a hello that everybody loves. A visit from Santa. And you know, Santa's odd. We don't really get to say goodbye to him. And we do give him cookies to send him on his way, but we're never really there to be a part of it. And then this is some real Mark Bricky level procrastination. You couldn't get the whole tree up last night? Think about it. Washing a window is like waving goodbye. Now, hear me out. Who will be sad to say goodbye to GardenWalk? If, like I've been predicting for a while now, this becomes theme park space connected to more theme park space. I mean, it's already ready for Magic Keys, but this will be a pleasant goodbye. Struggling mall that's not really a part of the community, but could be so much more if its full potential is unlocked. And hear me out. This could be very symbolic for our personal lives. One more sleep till Christmas is playing. I've got one more sleep until my epic trip. And let me tell you, I am wildly nervous, full of anxiety, because I've just been somebody in my life where things typically didn't go my way. And so when it looks like things are gonna go my way, there's this voice in my head that says, you don't deserve this, something's gonna go wrong. So I literally will not believe that everything has gone right until I'm on the other side of security and I'm sitting in my seat and the plane is literally in the air. But the last time we flew to Europe, it didn't go so well because somebody died on our plane when we were over Greenland and we had to fly back to the continental US or America, which was really Canada. And we had to let the dead person off the plane. So I've crossed the Atlantic once before, but on a ghost plane. Okay, back to GardenWalk's goodbye being symbolic of us. GardenWalk going away, people will be excited about because it will mean a better version of tomorrow is on the horizon. So is that the same as when you have to say goodbye to everybody because you're gonna go away to college or take a job in a different city or just make that emotional move that you need to do? I know there were a few people that were sad when I left Louisville, Kentucky, which is why I call it Louisville and why I say New Orleans, which people give me shit about because they don't really know my origin story and they think I'm a poser from California, which I take as a compliment that it seems like I belong here. But I know there were people that were sad to say goodbye to me, and I was sad to say goodbye to them, but I was more happy about the opportunity that lied ahead. So I think in many ways, something like this going away is very much reminiscent of our own personal lives. When we have to say a goodbye because we're ready to close a chapter on ourselves and ready to write a new chapter about being a better version of ourselves. Does this make sense? I know those Frosty kids, they were pretty bummed out when they had to say goodbye to Frosty. Happy birthday! Yeah. Was Frosty's death day too far away from his birthday? He's just asking, curious. Here for me is a happy hello. I don't know if you've noticed in this video, but I'm slightly delirious. Slept horrible last night. I'm full of anxiety about traveling and I need to put my batteries back in me. So this is a pleasant hello, but a sad goodbye was that the escalator was broke. So I'm saying hello to dragons and stairs. Which, I mean, if you gotta say hello to stairs, at least dragons are involved, right? I mean, that makes it pretty damn cool. There's a map over there of Taiwan showing all the different locations in Taiwan. And you know, I moved from Kentucky to Toronto to New York to California. But imagine moving all the way across the world in hope of a better life. That's gotta be a crazy goodbye. But you must really believe in the hello. I tell you, an awful goodbye, saying goodbye to your fingers. That would be a horrible goodbye. But then again, this person's face is a door, so what are you gonna do? Hey, here's a hello for you. Little inflatable baby JC. Born on the same day as Santa Claus. Even though everybody was mean to Rudolph, when he disappeared and said goodbye, they were bummed out and realized the error of their ways. So maybe sometimes we push people away and don't even realize we're doing it until they're gone, and then we see their true value. And that's how, with your nose so bright, you get to lead Santa's sled tonight. I think I got that halfway right. Okay, I'm physically getting ready to say goodbye to GardenWalk. And that makes me happy because I'm going to be saying hello to the Toy Story parking lot, which is where my car is sitting. And the weird things about cars is they're an extension of our homes. So whenever you've been out in the world and you've been doing things, when you get back to your car, you're not home, but you get a little sense of like, oh, I'm back in my space. That is a very healthy hello. But as I have processed today's video, I think I'm coming to the grand finale of my thesis of what goodbyes really mean and what it means when they're painful or they hurt or they're emotional. And maybe you knew this all along and I'm just a slow adult. But I have a question for you. Does this count as a theme park vlog? I mean, technically, I did start in Disneyland and I have talked about theme park stuff, but I don't know. This is a very, very odd genre of vlog. And I sincerely appreciate anybody who made it this far. If you made it this far, put in something about inflatable JC, and then I'll know how far you made it. My coffee is doing its magic because I think they're mad that I'm vlogging in the crosswalk, but I'm still walking. But my coffee has again provided me with clarity. And I'm gonna blow your mind when I cross Catella and get to the Toy Story parking lot. The future home of Disneyland Forward, something that we all want to say hello to as soon as possible. I often have this wild idea. So you get 33 seconds to cross Catella. I would love to get 2 football teams on each side of the street, because 30 seconds is more than enough time to do a play. Have them line up in the median, which would be the line of scrimmage, and have them pull off a play before the play clock runs out. It's just a bizarre dream of mine, which makes no sense and has no business in today's video. But hey, today's video is a wild one. So if you're having fun, how about you hit subscribe? Because if you made it this far, you are definitely my kind of psycho. Okay, we are officially on Toy Story parking lot, Disney property. It feels good to say hello because I'm close to my car, but I won't mind saying goodbye because after all, it's just a parking lot and what will come next will be so much better. But I think I have stitched together the true meaning of goodbye. And I think it is as follows. The more that a goodbye affects us, the more that you stop and look back and get that last glimpse, or maybe you don't because it's too painful. I think the more we're impacted by a goodbye is related to how much we love what we're saying goodbye to. So for me, as you know, I love the Disney parks. Look, Buffalo Bills fans left their tables in the parking lot. But you know I love the Disney parks. So when I say goodbye to them, probably an indication of that love, even when I know I'm going to be back. You know, even when I say goodbye to Walt Disney World, I know I'll be back within a few months. But I hate saying goodbye because it's something that I truly love. Just like sometimes I kind of go extra long on a live stream or on a video because I hate saying goodbye to you guys. Because I love my community and I love making videos. So therefore, big conclusion, big brain moment. When we're saying goodbye, are we really saying, I love you? And the amount of pain that is attached to that goodbye is a connection to the amount of love that we have. So I think the big lesson I've learned here, my own personal big brain moment, is from now on, I'm not going to say goodbye. I'm just going to simply say, I love you. I love you, Disneyland. I feel so much better than goodbye, Disneyland. Yeah. I'm going to start going with I love you. I'm a big I love you guy. If I see you in the park and you say hi to me, I'll be like, hey man, nice to see you. When you say goodbye, I'll be like, I love you. Top tier, weirdest video I ever made. But I made it, and I'm glad that it did. And it was actually fun, and made me think about things a whole lot different. And I hope it did the same for you. Friends, I'm not even going to point to another video to watch, because if you made it this far, you need a break from me. But I will see you tomorrow. Tonight is a big party night in America. If you go out to see the old gang, have fun. But please, please, be safe. I love you, and I don't want to say goodbye to you.